This is a demonstration to properly set up for your touch-off operation. This is a close-up of the Z-axis touch-off module. You'll notice that we've clad or shielded the expensive piezoelectric switch with both a 1/2 inch square brass touch plate as well as a plastic shield around the switch. This is to protect your cutter bit as well as the integrity of the ZTO module. When you jog down to touch this, you want to make sure that your bit, or the lowest point of your bit, is touching as close to the center of this brass plate as possible. This provides the most accurate and repeatable operation. There are 4 very important points to check before each ZTO operation. We thought these so important we actually engraved them on the ZTO module so they'd be there for you anytime you're setting up for a ZTO operation. The first is to make sure that your Mach jog increment is set to 0.005 inches or less. We recommend 0.001 because this will give you the most accurate and repeatable measurements. This setting is shown on the Mach screen joystick flyout joystick shown here. To change or adjust this Mach incremental step, please refer to video MP2 parameter setting for the ZTO. The next point is to make sure that your cutter bit's low point is over the brass touch-off plate or square. In most bits, the center of the bit is the lowest point, but that is not always the case, as you'll see in the next few photographs. The first photograph is the center of the bit, but the other 2 are not. Make sure that the lowest point is over the touch-off plate for the operation. The third point is to make sure that the ZTO cable is connected to the MP2 pendant. If you fail to do this and try to start the operation, the ZTO operation, the pendant will stop with an error code as shown later in this video. Last but not least, you must set the selector position to macro on the MP2 pendant. If you fail to do so, it won't let you start the ZTO operation anyway, but more importantly, it won't even let you jog the Z-axis down toward the ZTO to start the operation. In this short clip, we're going to show you that we do not have the ZTO plugged into the pendant. We are in macro mode, and we're going to jog the pendant into place to start an operation. Now, the X and Y axes are always active in macro mode without the ZTO cable plugged in, as we'll show here. I can jog left, can jog right, backwards and forwards. So what you do is you get ready for a ZTO operation, you jog as close as you can to the center of the touch-off plate. Once you place the ZTO cable in the MP2, the active axis is now the Z-axis. As you can see, I can jog up and down. This prevents you from jogging down into the ZTO, positioning, getting ready for the operation, and not having the cable plugged in. Once again, we added protection here to show that if I jog down too far and it touches the ZTO, it'll just revert itself. So we jog down. We recommend jogging down within about 1/4 inch. And the reason is that the ZTO is set to step 250 times looking for the ZTO module. 250 times the 0.001 inch we're set for is about 1/4 inch. If you happen to set it too high and it steps down to 250 times, it'll time it with an arrow. No problem there. You just hit the red button, reset, and start the operation again. He'll continue on. We'll show you those arrow codes in a later section of this video. Anyway, so while the pendant is, and by the way, this is in macro mode only. If I turn the selector switch back to XY, it's got the XY axis. If I turn it to ZA, we've got the Z axis. However, in macro mode, it's where we provide the protection, and we would suggest you be in macro mode when you jog the Z axis down to get ready for a touch-off. Now, this protection won't be available to you if you leave it in Z jogging. It also won't be available to you if you jog from the keyboard, because the MP2 pendant won't know you're jogging into the ZTO. So make sure if you're jogging down the ZTO, it's just a good practice to be in macro mode getting ready to do the Z touch-off. Next we'll show the error codes that are associated with the MP2 during a ZTO operation. Notice that the ZTO cable is unplugged. We're in macro mode and we're going to start the ZTO operation. The pendant determines that we don't have the cable plugged in, and it'll immediately come up with a flashing light. It flashes one time and repeats. This flashing one time says your ZTO cable is not connected. This is a very common error. By pressing the stop switch, it resets the arrow and you're back ready to go. Now you can plug in your cable. Another ZTO error that we've never seen, but we test for, is the possibility of a shorted piezoelectric switch in the ZTO module. We're going to simulate this by plugging in a jumper that shorts out the switch connection here, and we're going to test for that. So when you try to start a ZTO operation and it detects a shorted switch, you'll notice we get two flashing lights. The two flashing lights say that the switch is shorted, and this is a hardware problem. You need to get in touch with support at texasmicrocircuits.com. All of these error codes are documented in detail in the user guide for the MP2 and ZTO. Pressing the red stop button resets the switch and brings you back to normal. The last error code is the one that says we've stepped down 250 times looking for the ZTO module and we've exhausted our tries. We put this in because we don't want the Z-axis to continue forever, especially if there was some kind of failure we didn't detect, and drive the bit right through the ZTO. I'm going to jog this axis up well over the 250 steps. I'm going to start this thing. We'll probably speed up the video to show you that after 250 steps you get a flashing light. We've started now, and he's stepping down. Notice that when we step down, the green status light flickers, showing that we're stepping. See that a little closer here. Notice we have a flashing light now that shows three flashes. Flashes 3 times, waits a second, and then flashes 3 times again. This says that we've run out of tries trying to locate the ZTO. All you have to do, if you're close to it and you just didn't guess close enough, is to press the red stop button. We go back to normal and we start the operation again. And it will step another 250 steps, or you could have jogged it closer. This is just a precaution and another protection measure we built into the ZTO operation. You can stop the ZTO operation anytime by pressing the stop button. It just goes back to normal. Then you can do other things, adjust your X, Y, or Z or whatever, and start the operation over.